So you remember this guy? Do you remember this guy used to be president of the United States? He won a second term.
Fondly. I remember him fondly.
This guy won a second term. Fondly. Kurt remembers him. Hang on.
I remember a good leader, made tough calls. A lot of deciding.
So watch this.
And so, in my State of the Union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it, speech to the nation,
whatever you want to call it.
Wow, it's great. It's like if Joe Biden had the sense to know he screwed up what he just said right then.
No, are these jokes corresponding to this? I think I might have. Did I mess this up?
No, I think they do. I don't know.
Okay. So here's another great George Bush memory.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again."
They should play the Who after. Won't get fooled again. You see the little kid? I just noticed that. The little kid while he's doing that.
He was like, no, I didn't notice.
There's a little kid in the corner just like listening to him mangle it. See?
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Even that kid knows. So here he is. Harry, one more.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
What he's saying is they're not able to grab him by the pussy. That's what he means. So they made that guy president. Now what they're doing is they gave him a master class.
Oh, he teaches it. He's not taking a class.
No, he's not taking a master class. No, he's teaching it. He's teaching a master class, Kurt.
Oh, man.
Isn't that
I can't wait for a Joe Biden master class. That'll be the greatest. I'll pay money.
What can he teach a master class in?
Bike riding.
This is really happening.
Look at his
This
face.
is really happening. And do you want to know why it's happening? It's because George Bush hates Donald Trump, and that's what the establishment needs. And hating Donald Trump washes away every sin you've ever committed. He's an unbelievable war criminal. He started a torture program, which exists till this day. A bona fide torture program. And did he get prosecuted? No. Did the FBI go through his closets looking for documents? No. This guy lied us into an illegal war, killed 1 million people. And then launched a torture program, an illegal war crime torture program to cover it up. Did the FBI ever go through his closet? No.
Well, in the words of the great Joy Behar, get over it.
Yeah, that's right. And so I show you this. I show you these just to show you what they said Trump's a moron. There was no bigger moron than George Bush. This is what the establishment does. They can make a demented guy president. They could make this guy president. That's the establishment's power because they own the media. Here's his MasterClass commercial. Ready?
The chief executive has got to be...
It's a little loud. Bring it down a little bit.
The chief executive has got to be bold within reason and daring in application. I recognize very few people...
Bold within reason. Then it's not bold if it's reasonable. It's only bold if you go beyond what people think is reasonable and it pays off. If it's bold within reason, that's just reasonable. That's not bold.
You know what? You should have done that one instead of what you did.
Yeah, how about do that? Yeah. How about you do bold within reason? As opposed to what you did was launch a major war criming, illegal war that killed 1 million people. Is that reasonable?
Watching this will become president. But I think you'll find lessons in leadership that will apply to your life.
War criminal, war criminal, war criminal, wife of a war criminal, war criminal. She bragged that she killed 500,000 kids, that it was worth it to kill 500,000 kids. That's her mindset. She later apologized for it, but that's revealing that she'd be willing to kill 500,000 kids if it got done what she needed. This guy's on Epstein's island raping them. She's calling black kids super predators while on board with Libya. She cackled and laughed about turning Libya into a failed state with the slave markets.
You know,
that's her.
My driver from the airport when I was in Philly, I guess a bunch of African drivers lift and stuff, but he was from not Guyana, Ghana. He was from Ghana. But he was talking about that Libya, like it's notorious how they screwed up Libya.
Oh yeah,
with that. Like he was surprised I know anything about it.
He's surprised you knew anything about it. Yeah,
people don't have no idea how bad we screwed them.
Here's more. Back to this video. That's an amazing.
Well, Clinton looks great
As president,
another war criminal.
I had information that the American people didn't know, and therefore I had to make decisions.
I had information that American people didn't know. You know, like that the corporations wanted me to start an illegal war.
That there were no weapons of mass destruction.
Like I knew there were no weapons of mass destruction, but I still had to make a decision to go to war based on that. Like they didn't probably know that Dick Cheney got $30 million from Halliburton to start this war. I knew that. $30 million is what Halliburton gave Dick Cheney when he became vice president. That was a down payment for the Iraq war, and it paid off.
For the country on knowledge that wasn't evident. That's just the nature of leadership. So long as you're guided by principle, and so long as you're guided by
and the principle he was guided by was corporate profit and killing Muslim people to get it done.
Well, I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons myself.
Right. That's right.
Cause greater than self, you can endure criticism because it's going to come. One of the things I missed after the presidency was this daily learning, and thankfully painting came into my life. It's a learning experience because with every paint stroke, you learn something new. All right, I'm going to do another flip.
Wow.
So isn't it nice that he's had time in his retirement to learn how to paint? Meanwhile, there's 1 million people dead who won't get to learn that. But isn't it doesn't it give you pleasure to know that he gets to paint all day?
And he's not painting some kind of hardcore like Guernica, like,
right?
Kind of, he's painting the real mundane.
Yeah, flowers.
The kind Hitler used to paint. Nice backgrounds and flowers and buildings.
He's not going to paint a picture of that guy being tortured, standing on a apple crate with a thing over his mask over his head.
Can you imagine if he did? That would be an amazing painting.
Wouldn't that be great? And electrodes hooked up to every orifice. Wait, he's not going to paint that, I bet.
He's got what looks like a coffee cup with some flowers.
Yeah, he's got a coffee cup. There's some flowers. Isn't that nice? There's great paintings.
I got that and a Hunter Biden, and I'm set for my paintings.
Jesus.
It's important to have a set of priorities that guide you and your team, your company.
What were those priorities that guided George Bush? Illegal war starting, lying about it, and then ordering war crimes and torture, and then covering that up, and then not helping the people in New Orleans. What else was it? What else?
Your managers have got to understand those priorities. To me, the most important priorities were my faith in my family and my friends. That may sound corny to some, but it helps you reorganize the rest of your life.
No, it doesn't sound corny, George. It sounds blatantly evil in light of your war crimes. But corny? No. Hey, you know who else?
Welcome, Dore.
Thanks. Yeah.
Some, but it helps you reorganize the rest of your life. Welcome, Dore.
Thanks. Great. Glad to be here.
Important priorities were my faith in my family and my friends. That may sound corny to some, but it helps you reorganize the rest of your life.
His faith, Kurt.
Yeah.
His faith got him through tough times and criticism. Hey, you know who else's faith got him through tough times and criticism? Osama bin Laden.
Yeah. He had a lot of faith in family.
He had a lot of faith in family.
Like 3 wives.
And friends. Yeah, he had
family was very important to him.
Very important.
Welcome, Dore.
Thanks. Great. Glad to be here.
When I was speaking to audiences, I didn't want them to think I was smarter than they were.
Well, mission accomplished.
Wow.
Mission, because
You
nobody
should land on an aircraft carrier with mission accomplished.
Nobody ever thought that. Nobody ever said, hey, I bet that guy's smarter than me. No one ever thought that. Isn't that funny? Except Joy Behar, maybe.
I didn't even want him to think I was as smart as them.
Communication is to figure out how to enable the person you're talking to relax. You know, I was a master at the malaprop. Misunderestimate. The press corps reaction was, did the guy really just say that?
No, he says that as if he meant it.
Yeah, he's red buttons over
Like
here.
it's like what? Look at how I'm playing 4-dimensional chess with these news people. They don't know. I said misunderestimate. No, you fucked up, and you said something dumb that you do every 5 seconds, and that one just stood out.
How is this different from a Trump University class of saying something stupid and the press goes, "Ugh," like that's what he just said.
You should tell that to Sam Harris. Sam Harris he still has his bush in and out over Trump University, but apparently this is fantastic to him because Sam Harris is cool with the Iraq War.
Yeah, right.
I remember right after 9/11 in the Oval Office talking about praying for families that had suffered loss. I broke down in tears. If your heart is touched, let people know that your heart is touched.
Still didn't get that help to Louisiana, but I was crying.
Couldn't make it to New Orleans, but to gosh darn it, I was crying. And then I went and killed 1 million people.
And then I cried a lot more, if you could imagine.
And I didn't cry at all over that.
By then I was numb inside.
Yeah, man. I went back to my old alcoholic days of not feeling anything.
I just paint.
No, I just paint.
Going to be a leader, but everybody can end up being a better person. The challenge of life is not
Except
to attain wealth and status and power. The challenge of life
is to get away with war criming. If you could commit a war crime and in public and get away with it, you've got a successful life.
Once you kill enough people, you got nowhere to go but up as a person.
George Bush is the moral superior of no one, and that includes Charlie Manson. He is the moral superior of no one. Think of that. That includes Bundy. That includes Gacy. That includes Jeffrey Epstein. He is the moral superior of no one. He's below Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, but I guess Manson only sent like four 20-somethings to go kill people.
Yeah.
He didn't send a...
Okay, here we go.
Is to improve and to learn to love better. And
learn to love better. Because that's what the devil's going to say when he comes here. When the devil comes back, he's going to be telling you to learn to love better. That's what he's doing.
I'm George W. Bush, and this is MasterClass.
So, I mean, how do you ruin the reputation of your company with just a 1-2 minute promo? That would be it. Now, I mean, MasterClass was already a joke. They had Hillary Clinton do one. They had the biggest losers in the world, and then this guy.
What was Hillary's? Was she?
She did a MasterClass. I don't know what she again complained about Russia.
How to lose to a guy you set up that everyone thought you could beat.
And then they got the captain of the 1980 Russia hockey team to do a MasterClass too. Here's the first. I went to this video on YouTube at MasterClass's YouTube, and I just picked the first 3 comments. These are the first 3. You want to hear it? The first 3, and then I'll show you the next 3. I didn't have to search for these. Is my point. Now I know you can't read them, but I'll read it to you. It says, "Just goes to show you, you don't have to be a good leader to have a MasterClass." That's the first comment. The second comment was, "It's so important to learn how to deal with your critics. Not by listening to them and debunking their points, but instead by retreating from actual criticisms and hiding any evidence they ever existed." There's the third comment. "If you were born into a trust fund political dynasty, you too can attend an Ivy League school, join the right fraternity, become a raging alcoholic, barely pass, and have a long, successful political career."
Why isn't Hunter Biden president now that I think about it?
Right?
He did all the stuff Bush did.
That's exactly
more.
Right. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden took this MasterClass. And for the record, Kurt, I would pay for a Hunter Biden MasterClass.
Yeah.
Here's some more.
I never weigh my crack, so that's why
I don't weigh my crack. Yeah.
I eyeball it.
Should be a MasterClass at The Hague. That's the 4th comment. Painting came into my life. Fully expected a button-up shirt on backwards and his fingers in the paint. Like a little kid. What a disgrace to the country. Now watch this drive. Oh, okay, I'll show you that. You want to watch? This is George Bush's masterclass on leadership. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm distressed to hear about the latest suicide bombers in Israel. For those who yearn for peace in the Middle East, for those in the Arab lands, for those in Europe, for those all around the world who yearn for peace, we must do everything we possibly can to stop the terror. There are a few killers who want to stop the peace process that we have started, and we must not let them. For the sake of humanity, for the sake of the Palestinians who suffer, for the sake of the Israelis who are under attack, we must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
Kamala Harris could take that class.
Do you remember this when he said that? Now watch this drive.
How was the drive?
All right, you need another. Our new student. Right? What? Trying to be talked out of the mug.
See you at church.
See you at church.
That guy's teaching a master class. Hey, is it a master class on how to look like an overprivileged, underqualified asshole who's completely out of touch? He didn't even know that was stupid to do and say, and neither did his father.
Why would you need a class? Would you just be born knowing how to be like that?
Right? I call on all nations to do all we can to stop terror, except for stopping the creation of new terrorists with our perpetual wars of choice. But everything else,
Everything except for that one thing.
except for that, except for our imperialistic wars of aggression that killed millions of people, we shouldn't stop that.
Well, then we won't have any terrorists to fight.
Yeah, that's right. Trump is, here's Margaret Kimberly. She says, Trump is an amateur whose supporters rioted in the Capitol, but George W. Bush actually stole an election. He has also killed 1 million Iraqis. I wonder if you're allowed to say that on YouTube. If you're allowed to say George Bush stole the 2000 election. I wonder if that...
I guess it depends if the algorithm is triggered by saying stole and election and not the dates.
And not the dates.
Yeah.
By the way, did you notice this? The Daily Beast. That shit rag of all liberal shit rags, which is, I think the Clintons, Chelsea Clinton sits on the board of this. So George W. Bush gives a moment-by-moment breakdown of 9/11 in his new MasterClass course, and it says authentic leadership.
I hope he reads the GOAT book during it.
Oh, we should have had the video of him being told the night the Twin Towers just got hit, and he just kept reading. Not only are they doing a puff piece on this, and who's doing it? Mia McGuire. She's the commerce editor. Great job, Mia. I bet you thought about this when you were in journalism school.
What's a commerce editor?
She's a commerce editor.
So is that she does articles that are advertisements for
I guess
things?
so.
That's what that means, right?
I think so. But because in this article, they're promoting this. So that's what this must mean. So this must mean this isn't really journalism,
Right.
which we didn't need you to tell us.
At least they put authentic leadership in quotes.
In quotes. Yeah. Well, this was in the article. So, and it gives you shop at MasterClass. So it tells
It's an
you.
ad.
So it's an ad. So this basically is the Daily Beast doing an ad disguised as a news article for George Bush.
How is paying for that any worse than Trump University?
How is that?
Is it less expensive? Is that why it's better?
I took George W. Bush's masterclass on leadership, and now I too cannot lead.
I can no longer paint either.
I worked at so this guy says this guy claims this. I can't vouch for this, but I thought it was interesting. I saw it on Twitter, so I'm going to share it with you. I don't have any reason to believe it's not true. He says, I worked at MasterClass earlier this year. This is the stuff they wasted their money on, and then laid off 30 to 40% of their workers, at least half of which were post-production workers, editors, assistant editors, producers. I remember a number of people refusing to work on this. And then there's this thread. Last I heard, they were planning on targeting a more right-wing audience. Can't wait for Jordan Peterson and Bitcoin classes. Now, I don't think Bitcoin is a right-wing thing.
Yeah,
that's a mistake there.
Well, that's funny because I don't think right-wingers are that keen on George W. Bush anymore, actually. Unless they're like...
No, the establishment Republican right-wing for
but
sure.
But they're not taking MasterClass, right? Who's that? I'm just like, who's it for? Who's
Who's the Hillary Clinton MasterClass for? I mean, who the fuck is any of this for? Who's going to take that? You got to be dumber than George Bush to want to take that.
If they're laying people off, that means probably not a lot of people have been enjoying these MasterClass.
That's right. Not a lot of people. MasterClass hired some hatchet consultant guy as the CCO. What does CCO stand for? I don't even know. Can you look up what CCO stands for? To basically, that's the chief something officer, chief commerce officer, maybe. To basically come in and say, oh, I know a great way to make this company profitable. Let's fire everyone. And thank you very much. Enjoy the house in Beverly Hills you earned with that brilliant insight. The CEO pulled one of these on Zoom. So this is the CEO when he fired everybody.
That's for MasterClass?
This is what this guy's saying.
Wow.
Chief Customer Officer. CCO, I have.
So this guy, his thing says CEO of Hypersocial, CEO of Hypersphere, 5-time college dropout. So the CEO pulled one of these on Zoom. So is that the CEO?
It owns the other stuff?
I don't know. That's confusing. But anyway.
Chief Commercial Officer or Chief Customer Officer are two CCOs.
Very close. So do you remember this? This guy's teaching a masterclass. He should teach. The only masterclass George Bush should teach is a masterclass in how to be masterly out of touch. Watch what he thinks is a good thing. Watch this.
I mean, we are living longer, and people are working longer, and the truth of the matter is elderly baby boomers have got a lot to offer to our society, and we shouldn't think about giving up our responsibilities in society. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Yeah. But nevertheless, there's a certain comfort to know that the promises made will be kept by the government.
Yes.
And so thank you for asking that.
So he's telling her we're gonna keep the promise of Social Security. Watch what she says back.
Don't have to worry.
That's good because I work 3 jobs and I feel like I contribute.
You work 3 jobs.
3 jobs, yeah.
Uniquely American, isn't it? That is fantastic that you're doing that.
That is uniquely American.
That was an old joke on In Living Color. Remember the hardworking Jamaican family, and they all had 3 jobs. I gotta go to work, come on. Remember that?
Oh,
in
no.
the 90s?
Oh, really? Okay.
Uniquely American. That used to be a joke. Wow.
And then
That's
he just said
amazing.
it. He said it like it's a good thing that this senior citizen has to work 3 jobs. Isn't that uniquely American? Isn't that fantastic? He said. You ever work 3 jobs, George? You never worked 1 job, George. He never had to work 1 job. So that's your masterclass, George Bush. I just wanted to share that with you. And it's official. Masterclass is dumber than TEDx, and that's hard to pull off.
That's pretty hard to pull. TEDx's.
Congratulations. And that's all because he hates Donald Trump. That's all this is.
He probably doesn't even hate him.
But no, he just said it. He doesn't hate him. You're right. He doesn't hate Donald
This
Trump.
dope doesn't even hate anybody. He's like...
Hey, we're coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Los Angeles, Spokane, Tacoma, Denver. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all our tickets for all our live shows. See you there.